This is John Loudon with Michigan Network Service, and I have Susan Bowen from DID Exchange and Carol Davis from the Illinois Institute of Technology talking about their upcoming conference on VoIP.
And that is what remember I found your conference on LinkedIn as an event, and I saw it was the Illinois Institute of Technology. You guys have a VoIP lab, and you're actually having a VoIP conference, where you'll be showcasing the students' research as well as the private collaborations and all of that. And I know we're at Cluecon, but we'll talk about that in a minute. But tell us about,
the VoIP lab and the VoIP conference.
Sounds good, yeah.
Terrific. So the VoIP conference is a outgrowth of the VoIP lab. The VoIP lab we started at IIT about 5 years ago, and it was to support a 2-semester VoIP course that I give, which involves hands-on practical development and research and testing during the course of a curriculum that includes teaching basic VoIP standards such as SIP, RTP, STP, MGCP, and the architectures that are associated with them. So that the VoIP conference grew out of that, and it is now a 2-day conference, annual. We're going into the 5th year, and at that conference we're going to be able to showcase a lot of our projects and our work, recent work, as well as a lot of people who are active in the VoIP field, both domestically and internationally. We have Henning Schultzrune as one of our keynote speakers. We have recently we've just gotten 2 mini conferences set up. We have one mini conference dealing with emergency services for next generation networks, which will include all VoIP, instant message, all kinds of video calls. And so we have an all-day mini conference scheduled for the 28th. This is October 28th, the first day of the conference, and we've just got a new keynote speaker for that from the Cook County PSAP organization. We have Jim Argyropoulos going to speak for us and describe how they actually are using a next generation E91 network, including VoIP and IM. So the second day we'll also have a mini conference dealing with next generation networks and VoIP, so it's more generic. And so you can visit our website for more details, and we encourage everybody to participate.
Yeah.
So here now.
Absolutely. And, yeah, we're at Cluecon, and if you can either look up Illinois Institute of Technology VoIP Conference, or you can go to didx.net/events. It's in that list because we think it's an important conference to attend. And we are at Cluecon in Chicago right now, and this is our first time to meet face-to-face, and I'm really excited to meet you and learn from you and see all the excitement that's being generated from here to participate in also your conference. So.
That's right, and we were very delighted to be able to come to this conference this year. When I started teaching VoIP, there wasn't nearly as much open software available, and this conference here, the Cluecon, is just a wonderful area for all of us that have been working in this field, because what have we been talking about the last few years is why hasn't VoIP really taken off? So the theme of the VoIP conference this year at IIT is bridging the islands of VoIP. So we have many islands, you have many suppliers, both of open source and also of proprietary VoIP systems, but we all live on islands, and ultimately we all communicate over the backbone of the public switch telephone network, or we live within a relatively large island, but still an island.
Sure.
So it has been said that you're not VoIP until you're actually able to address the distant party or parties using their SIP address or their VoIP address rather than using a telephone number. And so bridging those islands, allowing you not to use the telephone number, would be one of the touchstones that said, okay, now we are VoIP. Well, this conference here today, the Cluecon, is providing direction and is showing people have already begun to create very large islands using open source. So what we're hearing now is basically people who are creating telephone systems, telephone service providers, telephone service provisions with many, many features and functions, all based on open source. 5 years ago, I would have said, these are science projects.
Yeah.
But now, at this conference, it's obvious that these are not science projects, and we have been listening to talks about scaling and load balancing and many things that you would assume were going to be an old telephone service provider's concerns.
Right.
But now these are the concerns of VoIP service providers.
Right.
And you can see that between that and between the much more productized, I want to say, but not for money,
yeah.
but productized serving of almost, I would say, canned functions.
Right.
We can now really envisage putting together telephone service from off-the-shelf
the appliances.
Practical.
That's correct.
Right.
So you can see you can rapidly create service, and you can also rapidly scale service.
Right.
And that's and this conference, Cluecon, is really providing the developers level for that. So my students are having a wonderful time here. My lab manager is here with me, and we're taking notes on all the things that we can add to our projects.
Right.
Because many of the people here are saying, we need you to exercise this code. We need you to work on this.
Yeah.
Well, that's what we'll be doing this year.
Yeah, just
so
a whole new world has opened up
this
for
conference
you guys,
is very
and then
important
also
to our conference.
quite a bit of those who are attending this conference will be coming to the VoIP conference at the Wheaton campus of the Illinois Institute of Technology. And as you said, I think you said October
28th and 29th, 2-day conference. I forgot to tell you.
Okay.
On the 28th, not only will we have this discussion of the Chicago PSAP, but we will also have the emergency trucks in our parking lot. So right after Jim Argyropoulos speaks, you will also have the opportunity to see 21st century VoIP-enabled 911 trucks.
Oh, right.
So they're using cellular and VoIP, and you'll be able to see that in the parking lot.
See a live demo.
Yeah. As well as all of the conference sponsors and exhibitors. So you have a regular opportunity to see exhibitions and demonstrations as well.
All right. That sounds good.
All right.
And thank you, John.
Thank you.